morning. Well, this morning our practice is going to be based around side bends. So if you'd like to come to the mat, standing with the feet underneath your hips and the arms by your sides. And taking a moment just to scan around the body, checking how the body feels. Allowing the breath to settle into a smooth and even pattern. And on an inhale, we'll take the arms above the head, interlinking the fingers and turning the palms towards the ceiling. And taking a breath or two here, as you inhale, stretching up the sides of the body. And then on an exhale, tilting to the left. And inhale, come to center. Exhale, move to the other side. Just feeling that nice opening feeling between the ribs, down the side body. And moving smoothly from side to side. And trying to tune in your movement to your breath. So you can be using your Ujjayi breath if you wish. And when we use the Ujjayi, we just close the glottis slightly so that we can just feel and hear the breath as it moves through the throat region. It gives us a little bit more control over our breath and provides us with a little bit of feedback so we can tell whether the breath is staying smooth and easy within those limits. So if you'd like to pause after the inhale or pause after the exhale, as long as that feels natural and easy for you, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. Nice smooth movement to accompany a smooth breath. And we'll come back to center and exhale. Allow the arms just to float down by your sides. Coming back to Samastiti. Allowing the breath to settle. And as you inhale, turn the palms so they're facing towards the front of the room. Roll the shoulders down the back. And have a nice feeling of openness across the chest. Keeping that feeling of openness, as you exhale, bring the hands into prayer position. And as you inhale, you can take the arms up. And if you like, you can look up at the hands or look up at the ceiling. Take the arms out wide, little back bend. Be careful with your neck. If you have issues with your neck, you can stay looking straight ahead. And then on the exhale, soften the knees, continue to take the arms round to the lower back and come forward into a forward bend, keeping the knees soft. As you inhale, bend the knees a bit more strongly, bring the arms forward by the ears, a long spine, chair pose, and exhaling, lowering the arms, coming back to standing. So we'll repeat that a few times. Inhale, opening across the chest, palms forward. Exhale, keep the chest open as you bring the palms together. Inhale, hands move up. You can look at the hands, you can look up at the ceiling if you wish. Back bend. Keep the arms moving behind you as you soften the knees and come into your forward fold. On the exhale. Relax the head and the shoulders here. Inhaling, bending the knees more strongly. Chair pose. And exhale, back to your starting position. If you need to take a resting breath or two between the sequences, that's fine. Inhaling, opening across the chest. And exhale, palms together. Inhale, hands go up. You can look up at the ceiling. And exhaling, keep the arms going round behind the back. Soften the knees. Keep a straight back for as long as you can as you come down into the forward bend. Soften the knees. Inhale, tall spine, chair pose. And exhale, back to your standing position. So we'll do 2 more of these in your own time with your own breath. Using your Ujjayi breath if you're familiar with that. So we're aiming for a long, smooth breath. But trying to keep the breath easy and effortless as possible. Having some resting breaths if you need to. Relaxing the head completely when you come into the forward bend. In chair pose, a nice long tall spine. And when you've completed those, coming back to the Samastiti position. Shaking out the body if you need to. Any movements that the body feels necessary. Can maybe move the shoulders, move the hips, whatever feels good. So we're going to take the legs quite wide, not so wide as you feel unstable. And then we're going to turn the left foot out at 90 degrees and turn the right foot in, say 30 to 40 degrees, just so that you feel comfortable and stable. The hips are still facing the long end of your mat. So we're going to do a little sequence now. And we're going to start with Warrior 2. So as we inhale, we bend the left knee, take the arms up to shoulder level and look out over your left hand, Warrior 2. As we exhale, the right hand comes down to the right leg and the left hand comes up towards the ceiling, and you can look up into the palm and bring it overhead as far as you can towards the right. Peaceful Warrior. And then we inhale, we come back to Warrior 2, looking out over the left hand. And then as we exhale, bringing the left forearm down to the thigh. Right arm comes up towards the ceiling. Inhale, stretch up towards the ceiling with the right hand. As you exhale, that hand moves over to the left. You can look up into the palm. And then as we inhale, we're going to come back to Warrior 2. Exhale, come back to your start position. So we're going to repeat that a few times. Inhaling, Warrior 2. Exhale, Peaceful Warrior. Left hand comes up, you look into the palm, bring it across, and then inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, the right hand comes up towards the ceiling. Inhale, stretch up towards the ceiling with this arm. And then exhale, bring it across to the left, looking up into the palm. And inhale, back to Warrior 2. exhale, come back to your start position. If you need to take a resting breath or two in between the sequences, please feel free to do that. Inhaling, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, right hand up to the sky. Inhale, stay here and stretch up. And exhale, bring the hand over into the extended triangle pose. And inhale back to warrior two. Exhale back as you float the arms down by your sides. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, right hand towards the sky. Inhale, stretching up. And exhale, the extended triangle pose. Inhale, warrior two. And exhale, back to your starting position. So the next one, when we come into the extended triangle pose, we're going to stay there for a few breaths. And you can either stay in the position that we've been using, that is with the forearm on the thigh, like so. Or you can bring the hands down, you can place a block either side of your foot. You just need one side actually, won't you? So we can bring one hand down to that block and stay here in that position. Or you can bring the hand all the way down to the floor, but just take care that it stays as a sideways bend and doesn't become a forward bend. So if you find that if you try to do this and this right hip kind of pops out of line, moves back behind you, and you start to bring your chest down to the floor, then you've lost that sideways stretch. So just come as far as suits you. It might be to stay here. Better to stay here and keep the sideways stretch than to try and come down to the floor and for this to happen and you to lose it. So if you have some blocks ready, if you think you might need them, we'll start from the beginning of the sequence. So taking a couple of resting breaths. And then inhaling, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, bring the right hand up towards the sky. Inhale here. And then exhale, bringing that hand over to the left. So you can either stay in this position or you can bring the hand down to a block or to the floor. And we're going to stay here and breathe. Feeling that nice stretch between the right foot and the right hand all the way down the side of the body. Looking up into the palm of the top hand. And to release out of this position, as you exhale, bring this right hand down to the floor. And as you do so, turn the feet towards the long end of your mat, turning round. So both feet are now facing forward and you're in a forward bend. If you need to, you can use the blocks to bring your hands to, or you can hold the opposite elbows, keeping the knees a little soft. Relax the head, or you can bring the palms of the hands to the floor. And a few breaths here. And before we come up, placing the hands on your hips, inhale up halfway, keeping the knees soft. Exhale. On the next inhale, coming all the way up. And you can release the arms down by your sides. And just take a couple of resting breaths. And then we'll turn to the other side. So this time it's the right foot that goes out to 90 degrees. Turning your left foot in just as much as is comfortable, say 30 degrees or 40 degrees. And just make sure that you've got your legs far enough apart, but not so far that you feel unstable. So on the next inhale, we're going to bend the knee, raise the arms, look out over the right arm into Warrior Two. Exhale, Peaceful Warrior. Inhaling, Warrior Two. And exhale, left arm towards the sky. Inhale here and stretch that arm up. And as you exhale, that arm moves over to the right. You can look up into the palm. And inhale, coming back. Warrior Two, looking out over your right hand. And exhale, starting position. Take a breath or two. Inhaling, Warrior Two. Exhale, Peaceful Warrior. Inhale, Warrior Two. Exhale, left arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale, stretching up here. And exhale, that arm moves across. And inhaling, Warrior Two. And come back to your start position. Does this side feel any different to the other? It does for me. It feels a little bit more difficult, a little bit more resistance. So inhaling, Warrior Two. Exhale, Peaceful Warrior. Inhale, Warrior Two. Exhale, left arm towards the ceiling. Inhale, stretch. And exhale, the arm comes across. Inhaling, Warrior Two. And the start position. So I'll let you do this last one in your own time with your breath. So on the final one, the same as we did on the other side, we're going to stay in the position for a few breaths. So if you need your blocks, just have them ready by your foot. Or we'll stay in the same position with the forearm on the thigh. So when you're ready to begin, on an inhale, Warrior Two. Exhale into the Peaceful Warrior. Inhale, Warrior Two. And exhale, bringing the left arm up. Inhale, stretching up here. And exhaling, bringing that arm across, and then changing your position as you need to. If you want to bring the hand all the way down to the floor, you can. Looking up into the palm of the left hand, stretching back into the left foot, and feeling that lovely stretch all along the side of the body. And then to exhale and come out of the position, we take the hand down towards the floor, same as we did. Turn the feet forwards. Wide angle forward bend. Choosing your arm position,
can have the hands on the floor. Maybe you could hold around the backs of the ankles, keeping the knees soft. Or another alternative for the hands is to walk the hands forwards and feel a nice stretch as you feel as if someone's got hold of your hips and is pulling your hips backwards, but your hands are trying to walk forwards. A nice stretch down both sides of the body. Walking the hands back, and then we're going to come from here down into all fours. I'm placing the blocks out of the way as we don't need those anymore. So we're just going to come down into all fours position and just do some mobilizing moves, just moving the spine side to side a few times, or you can take it round in circles, maybe a figure of 8. Feel as if you're drawing a figure of 8 on the floor beneath you, bringing the weight forward over the hands and then back over the heels, and you can reverse that direction. And then coming back into a neutral spine. And so we're going to inhale and we're going to stretch the right leg back behind us, keeping the toes on the floor. As you exhale, keep the toes on the floor as you sweep the leg to the left, and you can turn the head and look at your foot. It's called cat tail. So it's as if you're swishing a cat's tail. Inhale to centre and exhale. See if you can bring the tail around to your right, so keeping the toes on the floor and back again. So we're simply going between these positions with your breath. Exhaling as you come to the side, turn to look at the foot. Inhale to centre and exhale, the cat swishes its tail around the other way. And we'll just do 2 more times. Trying to keep it a nice, fluid, smooth movement. And noticing that movement in the rib cage. Coming back to centre, and we'll do the same thing with the other leg. Exhaling as it comes to the side, and you can turn to look. Inhale to centre, exhale the other way. And keep going. A few times from side to side. Noticing how that feels in your spine, in your rib cage, in your hips. And coming back to centre. Taking an inhale. And as you exhale, sinking back into child pose, taking the hips back towards your heels, dropping the forehead towards the mat. Inhaling, coming back, all fours. And tucking the toes under as you exhale, lift the hips into down facing dog. Inhale, dropping the knees to the floor, coming back into all fours, looking forwards. And exhaling back down into child pose. So we'll keep going with that little sequence. Inhaling, coming up into all fours, looking forwards. Tuck the toes, lift the hips as you exhale. Moving with your breath. Nice, soft, fluid movement. And we'll just do one more. coming up into down facing dog. And then back to all fours. And from the all fours position, coming up into standing kneeling, having the hips, the knees under the hips, relaxing the arms, having a tall spine, taking a resting breath or two. And then we're going to take the left leg out to the side. So the toes are facing forwards, it's just a stabilising position. And this left hand can just rest gently on top of your left leg. Inhale, take the right arm up by your ear. And we're going to take a couple of breaths here, stretching up as much as you can between the waist, sides of the waist, sides of the rib cage, under the armpit, all the way up into the fingertips. Stretching up a little bit more with every inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to tilt over to the left. And keep the elbows soft. And just come as far as you're able. And stay here and breathe. So with every exhale, feel as if you're just letting go. You might be able to slide that hand a little bit more. No forcing. Just see what the body wants to do. See where you can feel that resistance. Is it in the hip? If it is, see if you can send the breath there. Send the breath to that place. And on the next inhale, come up to centre. Exhale, come back to your starting position. Just notice, how does that side feel now? In comparison to the other, should feel quite different. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Right leg out. Inhale, take the left arm up. And we'll spend a couple of breaths stretching up. And then on the exhale, tilting over to the right. Notice any difference. Maybe more resistance or less resistance this side. You might feel it somewhere else. Instead of feeling it in the hip, you might feel it under the arm. On the side of the rib cage. So wherever you feel that resistance, send the breath there. And allow the exhale to encourage the muscles to let go and relax. One more breath. Inhale, come to centre. And exhaling, taking the arm down. Bring that leg back. Come back into all fours. And this time we can practice some cat-cow movements. As you inhale, dropping the abdomen towards the floor, just gently lifting the head to look along the floor in front of you. And as you exhale, arching the back towards the ceiling. Looking between your legs, like a cat arching its back. Keep the elbows soft. And just feel that nice movement along the spine. And then on your next exhale, we'll sink back into child pose. Extend the arms out in front of you, bring the forehead towards the floor, You might like to use a block or cushion for the head, or you can maybe place something behind the buttocks on top of your heels. That might help. And we'll just stay here for a couple of breaths. And from here we're going to move carefully and slowly into a sitting position, stretching the legs out in front, taking them out wide. So your toes are pointing up towards the sky, tall spine, drawing in the chin, relaxing the shoulders. So we're going to take the left arm, turn the palm up towards the ceiling and place that on the floor just in front of your leg. Right hand, bring the right hand to the right side of your chest, and this is just to remind you to keep the chest open. So we're going to try and slide that left hand along inside your leg towards the foot. If it doesn't go very far, that's fine, just go as far as you can, remembering to keep the chest open and tilted up towards the ceiling. So in other words, don't take this hand down towards the foot if it means that your chest is going to collapse down towards the floor. So we're keeping the chest open, tilted up towards the sky, and just take a minute or two just to see how far you can slide that left hand down. You might be able to take hold of the foot, keep the elbow on the floor. As long as this chest stays open, however far it comes is fine. And then on the next inhale, we're going to take the right arm up towards the sky, stretching up, and bend the elbow. So on the inhale, take the elbow back behind you. And as you exhale, feel as if you're shooting the right hand towards your left foot, straightening the arm a little. It's like shooting a bow and arrow. Inhale, draw the elbow back as if you're putting the string back on a bow, opening up the chest. Exhale, let go of the string and the arrow moves towards the left foot. So we're just going to repeat this a few times. Inhale, drawing back the string of the bow, keeping the chest open towards the sky, and as you exhale, loose the arrow towards the foot. 2 more times. Nice smooth breath. And on this last time, we'll just stay there, taking a few breaths, trying to keep this feeling of an open chest, rotated up towards the sky. And on your next inhale, coming up. Ooh, that feels quite strong down the right side. Taking a couple of breaths before we go over to do the same thing on the left side. So turning the right palm up, placing the back of the hand on the floor, just inside the right leg. Placing the left hand just on top of the left chest. A reminder to keep the chest open. And just take a breath or two, just see if we can slide that hand down towards the foot, or just keep it wherever it comes to, wherever is comfortable. And then inhaling, raising the left arm towards the sky. Bending the elbow, coming to the bow and arrow. Inhale, taking the elbow back, drawing back the string of the bow. And exhale, the arrow moves towards the foot. So repeating this in your own time, Just being alive to the sensations that's producing. Where do you feel the stretch? Where do you feel the resistance to the movement? Is your breath still smooth and easy? If your breath starts to become a little bit more jagged, then maybe you're going a little bit too far physically. And come back a little. We'll make this one the last one. We'll stay in the position. And on an inhale, we're going to come up all the way. You can take both arms above the head, interlink the fingers, press the palms towards the ceiling, and stretch up. And exhale, allow the arms just to float down. We'll just place the fingertips on top of the shoulders and take the arms round in big circles, just to release any tension that may have built up. We can do this with the breath as well. Inhale as we take the arms up, and exhale as they come down. And then a few times the opposite direction. And release the arms down by your sides. Bring the feet together and lying back on your mat. So we're just going to practice a very easy soft bridge pose, followed by asana, simply to release any tensions that may have built up in the body from what we've been doing. So having the feet on the floor about hip width apart, shoulder blades flat against the floor and the shoulders down away from your ears. On an inhale, lifting the hips, pressing gently into the feet, and you don't have to come as high as you possibly can. Exhale, coming back down. Fairly smooth, easy movement. Repeating that. And we'll do 2 more repetitions. Soft, easy bridge. Seeing if you can separate each of the vertebrae as you move the spine up and down. And when you've completed, bringing the knees over the chest, placing the hands on top of your knees. And just a subtle movement, asana. As you inhale, knees move away, the arms straighten. As you exhale, use your abdominal muscles to draw the knees closer to the chest, not using arm strength. And just going back and forth. Noticing that nice massage of the lower back. As you draw the knees to the chest, the back flattens. As the knees move away, the lumbar spine arches away from the floor. And then we're going to place the feet back down upon the floor and straighten the legs one at a time. So on your next inhale, take the arms overhead, interlink the fingers, turn the palms away, And then as you exhale, we're going to walk the feet over to your left. So the feet walk around to the left side as far as you can go. And then lift the torso from the floor and just move the torso, the arms around to the left. So you're coming into a banana shape. So you should feel a nice stretch all down the right side of the body. And we're just going to breathe into the ribs on the right side. So a nice, strong inhale, feeling the ribs moving apart from each other, expanding, and then contracting back together again as you exhale. So just noticing the movement of the breath as it comes into the body. Where do you feel the breath moving? Where do you feel that expansion? You might feel it in the armpit, around the hip. You might feel it travelling down the right leg. And then as you exhale, come back to centre. And walking the legs around to the other side. And taking the torso around and the arms around. So we're in the opposite side now. And taking some nice deep breaths into the left side of the rib cage. You can use your Ujjayi breath. Noticing where the breath is travelling to, where this expansion is happening. And on your next exhale, we'll come back to centre. Take the arms back down by your sides and just come to a comfortable position, separating the legs a little bit, allowing the feet to drop out to the side. Arms by your sides, palms facing up. And just take a minute or two just to make sure you're comfortable before allowing the body to become still. And we're coming back to a natural breath. Allowing the breath to do whatever it needs to do. Natural intelligence of the body. We'll make sure the breath does whatever it is needed to do to satisfy the needs of the body. And notice the breath as it enters and leaves the nostrils. And bring your attention down to the chest and the abdomen. Noticing this soft expansion and soft contraction as you exhale. Shift your attention over to the left side of the body. Notice the breath coming in to the left side of the rib cage, the left side of the abdomen, travelling down the left leg, and the left arm, expanding the body on inhale. dropping back, letting go on exhale. Then switching over to the right side of the body. Feeling the breath coming in to the right side of the rib cage, right side of the abdomen, the right side of the body, expanding on the inhale, and softly dropping back on exhale. The breath travelling down the right arm and the right leg. And now feeling the breath in the whole of the body. The legs, the arms, the head and the torso. Wave of the breath, bringing in nutrients for the body and taking away anything the body no longer needs. And noticing this feeling of relaxation, travelling like a wave through the body. Slowing down the mind. If you'd like to stay in relaxation, feel free to stay here for as long as you wish. If you're going to come out of relaxation, we'll do it slowly and carefully. Taking some deeper breaths, starting to move the body. Bringing the knees over the chest. And rocking from side to side. And then coming over onto one side. And take a breath or two here. And come slowly up to sitting. Well, that's the end of today's practice. Thank you for joining me.